Right now, your bones could be crumbling, and you wouldn't feel a thing. That's the terrifying truth about bone loss. It's silent, it's invisible, and it's hitting millions of people over 50 without warning. 99% of seniors don't realize they're losing up to 3% of their bone mass every single year after 50. By 70, you could already have lost a quarter of your bone strength. By 80, half of it gone. Every 3 seconds, someone suffers a fracture from osteoporosis. That's 8.9 million a year. And here's the kicker, your diet could be accelerating it. The number one everyday food you probably think is harmless has been shown to increase fracture risk by more than 50%, and you might be consuming it daily. This isn't just about calcium. It's about hormones that signal bone growth, hidden acids that make your body strip calcium from your skeleton, and silent inflammation that eats away at bone tissue like rust on steel. Today, you'll discover the 4 best foods proven to protect and rebuild bone, and the 4 worst that could be destroying them from the inside out. The information in this video is backed by real science. We've spent hours digging through peer-reviewed research, and every single reference is linked in the description below. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments, which do you think is worse for your bones? A can of soda or a glass of milk? Your answer might surprise you. Let's start with the foods that can actually strengthen your bones. And number 4 is a creamy favorite that offers more than just calcium. Number 4. Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt isn't just a creamy breakfast or snack. It's a concentrated bone-strengthening package. 1 cup of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt can deliver around 250 to 300 milligrams of calcium, which is roughly a quarter of your daily needs, along with a healthy dose of protein. Protein is critical for bone because your skeleton isn't just made of minerals. About 50% of bone volume is actually a protein matrix, mostly collagen, which gives it flexibility and shock resistance. Without enough protein, bones can become brittle even if they have plenty of calcium. But what makes Greek yogurt especially effective is the combination of calcium with live probiotic cultures. These probiotics can improve gut health, and a healthy gut is essential for efficient calcium absorption. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed probiotic-rich dairy products like yogurt had significantly higher bone density compared to those who didn't, even after accounting for total calcium intake. Greek yogurt is also rich in phosphorus, which works with calcium to form hydroxyapatite, the mineral crystals that give bones their hardness. Plus, it contains potassium, which helps neutralize the acids in modern diets that can otherwise leach calcium from bones. The thicker texture of Greek yogurt comes from straining, which removes whey and concentrates the protein, making it a more potent option than regular yogurt. For maximum bone benefits, choose plain Greek yogurt without added sugars, as excess sugar can promote inflammation that harms bone health. If you want to sweeten it, add fresh berries. Not only do they bring antioxidants, but vitamin C from the fruit helps your body build collagen. Greek yogurt can be eaten on its own, blended into smoothies, or used in savory dishes like tzatziki sauce or salad dressings. Pairing it with magnesium-rich nuts or seeds can further improve calcium utilization. Next, we move to number 3, a small but mighty seafood option that gives your bones multiple key nutrients all in one bite. Number 3. Sardines. When it comes to bone health, sardines might just be the quiet heroes hiding in plain sight. They're small, inexpensive, and often tucked away in a can, which is probably why most people overlook them in favor of more glamorous superfoods. But sardines deserve a permanent place on your plate because they're one of the rare foods that naturally combine 3 bone-building powerhouses in one bite: calcium, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids. Calcium is the mineral framework that gives bones their strength, and vitamin D is the key that unlocks your body's ability to absorb it. Without vitamin D, much of the calcium you eat simply passes through unused. Sardines give you both at once, in forms your body can easily use. In fact, a 100-gram serving of canned sardines with bones provides about 380 milligrams of calcium, roughly a third of your daily needs, along with 270 U of vitamin D. That's a big deal because the National Institutes of Health reports that older adults often get less than half the vitamin D they require from diet alone. A 2014 Journal of Bone and Mineral Research study found that women meeting recommended intakes for both calcium and vitamin D had a 30% lower risk of hip fractures. Sardines make that easier by delivering both in perfect balance. Then there's the omega 3 factor. These healthy fats don't just benefit your heart, they also help calm the chronic inflammation that accelerates bone breakdown. Inflammation activates osteoclasts, the cells that dismantle bone tissue. Omega 3s can slow this process, giving osteoblasts, the bone building cells, a chance to keep up. A clinical trial in Osteoporosis International showed that postmenopausal women who increased omega 3 intake had significantly higher markers of bone formation within 6 months compared to a control group. Another advantage: you eat sardines with their tiny edible bones, providing a natural source of highly absorbable calcium, along with phosphorus, magnesium, and zinc, all crucial for bone crystal structure. Plus, because sardines are low on the food chain, they contain very little mercury, making them safe to eat often. For maximum benefit, choose sardines packed in water or olive oil, not refined seed oils. Mash them into avocado on whole grain toast, toss them in salads, or add them to pasta with lemon and herbs. Pair with vitamin C rich foods like tomatoes or peppers to further enhance calcium absorption. Next, we move to number 2, a deep green vegetable that's not only packed with calcium, but also loaded with a compound that helps your bones keep that calcium where it belongs. Number 2, kale. Kale has been hailed as a nutritional superstar for years, and when it comes to bone health, that praise is more than justified. It's backed by solid science. 1 cup of cooked kale delivers about 170 milligrams of calcium, which is already impressive. But here's the real game changer. The calcium in kale is absorbed by your body at a rate of 50 to 60%, compared to only around 30% from milk. That means each bite gives you nearly double the usable calcium of some dairy products, making kale a smart choice, especially for people who are lactose intolerant or who prefer plant-based sources. But calcium is only part of the story. Kale is also an incredible source of vitamin K1. Just 1 cup provides more than 500% of your daily requirement. Vitamin K activates osteocalcin, a protein that locks calcium into the bone matrix where it belongs. Without enough vitamin K, calcium can linger in the bloodstream or deposit in soft tissues instead of strengthening your skeleton. A long-term Rotterdam study found that individuals with the highest vitamin K intakes had a 50% lower risk of hip fractures compared to those with the lowest intakes. Kale also offers magnesium, a mineral often overlooked but essential for converting vitamin D into its active form. Without magnesium, vitamin D can't effectively signal your gut to absorb calcium. Add to that a healthy dose of potassium, which helps neutralize acids in the body that would otherwise leach calcium from your bones, and you start to see why kale is such a complete package. Unlike spinach, which is high in oxalates that bind calcium and reduce absorption, kale is naturally low in oxalates. This means its calcium is highly bioavailable, and studies consistently show kale outperforming many other greens in calcium absorption efficiency. In fact, research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that calcium absorption from kale matched, and in some cases exceeded, that from milk. For maximum benefit, pair kale with healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or nuts, since vitamins K and D are fat-soluble. Light steaming boosts antioxidant activity while keeping nutrient losses minimal. You can also enjoy kale chips baked at low heat or blend fresh kale into smoothies with fruit and yogurt for a bone-strengthening, nutrient-packed boost. Now we've reached the very top of the list, a food so remarkable that scientists have documented it not just slowing bone loss, but actually restoring bone density in older adults and doing it in a matter of months. Number 1. Fortified milk alternatives: soy or almond milk with calcium plus vitamin D. It might surprise you that a fortified plant based milk could top the list, but the numbers and the science are hard to ignore. Many people over 50 struggle to get enough calcium and vitamin D, especially if they avoid dairy due to lactose intolerance or preference. Fortified soy and almond milks bridge that gap beautifully by offering a highly absorbable form of calcium paired with vitamin D in one drink. That pairing is critical. Calcium is the building block, but vitamin D is the foreman directing it into your bones. Without vitamin D, much of the calcium you consume is wasted. A standard 8-ounce serving of fortified soy or almond milk often contains around 300 milligrams of calcium and 100 U of vitamin D, amounts comparable to or even higher than cow's milk. Soy milk also offers high-quality plant protein, which is important because protein supports the collagen structure of bones. In fact, a 2019 meta-analysis in the Journal of Nutrition concluded that individuals who consumed both adequate protein and calcium had up to a 38% lower fracture risk compared to those who didn't. What makes fortified milks even more powerful is their consistency. Unlike trying to get calcium from scattered food sources, a daily glass of fortified milk delivers a predictable, concentrated dose. And because many brands add vitamin B12 and sometimes magnesium, you're getting a broader bone support package. Magnesium is essential for converting vitamin D into its active form, which then signals your gut to absorb calcium more effectively. In one controlled study, postmenopausal women who consumed fortified soy milk daily for 2 years maintained significantly higher bone mineral density compared to a control group, with improvements most notable in the spine and hip, the two most fracture-prone sites. The benefits were even stronger in women who paired their soy milk intake with regular resistance exercise, showing the synergy between nutrition and movement in bone health. For the best results, shake the carton before pouring. Calcium can settle at the bottom. Choose unsweetened versions to avoid excess sugar, and if possible, go for soy milk for the extra protein, unless you have a soy allergy. Almond milk is still a solid choice for its calcium and vitamin D content, especially if you're getting protein elsewhere in your diet. You can drink it straight, use it in coffee or tea, blend it into smoothies, or pour it over high-fiber, low-sugar cereal to make breakfast a bone-building event. Knowing what to eat is only half the battle. The other half, avoiding the foods that can quietly undo all your hard work, starting with number 4 on the worst foods list. Number 4, sugary breakfast cereals. They look innocent in the grocery aisle, colorful boxes promising whole grains and fortified with vitamins. But many sugary breakfast cereals are a hidden trap for your bones. While they may contain added calcium or vitamin D, the massive sugar content and refined grains that come along with them can set your skeleton back more than they help it. Here's why. When you eat foods high in refined sugar, your blood sugar spikes sharply and your body responds with a surge of insulin. That spike and crash cycle fuels chronic inflammation, and inflammation is one of the silent drivers of bone breakdown. It activates osteoclasts, the very cells that dissolve bone tissue, tipping the balance toward loss instead of building. A 2018 study in Nutrients found that high sugar intake was linked to lower bone mineral density in older adults, even when controlling for calcium intake. The refined grains in most cereals don't help either. They're stripped of magnesium and other minerals your bones need, and their high glycemic load can cause your body to leach calcium from bones to buffer the acid load they create. Even fortified cereals often contain synthetic forms of vitamins and minerals that aren't absorbed as efficiently as those from whole foods. And if you're pouring them into a bowl with regular milk, the combination of high sugar and dairy can actually increase calcium loss in urine. To protect your bones, swap sugary cereals for options like steel-cut oats, plain Greek yogurt with fruit, or eggs with vegetables. These choices give you protein, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbs without the inflammatory sugar hit. And while sugary cereals quietly speed up bone loss from the inside, Our next food hits even harder, flooding your system with sodium that pushes calcium straight out of your bones and into your urine. Number 3. Processed meats. Processed meats, think bacon, sausages, deli slices, hot dogs, may taste like comfort food, but for your bones, they're more like slow poison. The main culprit here is sodium. These meats are loaded with salt, often packing over 1,000 milligrams per serving. That's nearly half your recommended daily limit in just a few bites. Excess sodium forces your kidneys to work overtime, and one way your body excretes sodium is by pulling calcium into the urine along with it. The result? Every salty meal can drain a little more calcium from your bones. It doesn't stop there. Many processed meats also contain preservatives like nitrates and phosphates. Phosphates, especially in their additive form, are absorbed far more rapidly than natural phosphorus in food. This can push your phosphorus to calcium balance even further out of range, accelerating bone resorption, the breakdown process where osteoclast cells pull minerals out of bone tissue. A large observational study in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research linked high phosphate additive intake to increased fracture risk, especially in postmenopausal women. Processed meats are also typically low in any nutrients that would counteract this effect. There's no meaningful vitamin K, no antioxidants, and little magnesium. They often come with high levels of saturated fats, which can promote inflammation that interferes with bone rebuilding. And unlike fresh, lean meats, they don't offer the same quality protein to fat ratio that your bones need for collagen synthesis. If you're craving something savory, swap processed meats for fresh poultry, fish, or even seasoned beans and lentils. These options deliver protein without the sodium overload and without stripping calcium from your bones. But while processed meats quietly pull calcium out through your urine, our next food goes even deeper, interfering directly with the cells that build bone, slowing your body's ability to repair itself. Number 2. Excessive alcohol. Alcohol might seem harmless in moderation, but when intake creeps up, your bones pay a heavy price. While the occasional drink is unlikely to cause noticeable harm, regular heavy drinking can disrupt the delicate balance between bone breakdown and bone building. Your bones are constantly in a cycle where osteoclasts break down old bone and osteoblasts build new bone. Alcohol interferes with osteoblast activity, slowing down the repair and rebuilding process. That means even normal daily wear and tear on your skeleton can accumulate without being fixed. Studies have quantified this damage. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that men and women who drank more than 2 alcoholic drinks per day had significantly lower bone mineral density at the hip and spine compared to light drinkers or abstainers. Another study in alcoholism, clinical and experimental research, revealed that chronic heavy drinkers had fracture risks up to 40% higher than non-drinkers. This isn't just from poor balance or falls while intoxicated, it's structural weakness built over years. Alcohol also impacts hormones like estrogen and testosterone, both of which play vital roles in maintaining bone mass. In postmenopausal women, alcohol can worsen the already accelerated bone loss that comes from dropping estrogen levels. In men, reduced testosterone from alcohol overuse means slower bone rebuilding and more rapid thinning. On top of that, alcohol can impair calcium absorption in the gut and increase calcium excretion through the kidneys, hitting your bones from both sides. If you drink, the safest approach for your bones is moderation. Ideally, no more than 1 drink per day for women and 2 for men, with alcohol-free days in between. Choosing nutrient-rich mixers like fresh citrus juice or tomato juice can also help offset some of the vitamin and mineral depletion, though nothing replaces simply cutting back. And if alcohol weakens bones by slowing down their builders, the number one worst food on our list strikes even harder, not only robbing your bones of calcium, but also increasing fracture risk by more than 50% in those who consume it daily. Number 1. Sugary soft drinks. At the very top of the danger list sits a familiar culprit, sugary soft drinks, especially colas and energy drinks. And yes, they deserve their own spotlight above all the others because the damage they inflict on your bones hits from multiple angles at once, making them the perfect storm for bone loss. The combination of high sugar, high phosphoric acid, and often high caffeine is devastating for bone metabolism. Phosphoric acid, found in most colas, disrupts the calcium phosphorus balance in your blood. When phosphorus levels spike without enough calcium to match, your body pulls calcium straight from your bones to restore balance. Over time, this becomes like slowly draining the savings account your skeleton relies on. Caffeine adds another hit by increasing calcium excretion in the urine, while sugar fuels chronic inflammation, which interferes with the activity of osteoblasts, the very cells responsible for building new bone. The numbers are sobering. The Framingham Osteoporosis study found that women who drank just one cola per day had about 4% lower bone mineral density at the hip compared to those who rarely drank it. Another study published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that adolescents who consumed more than 3 soft drinks daily had nearly double the risk of bone fractures compared to those who rarely drank them, a risk that can carry forward into adulthood as their peak bone mass is compromised. Energy drinks can be even worse. Along with sugar, they often contain significantly more caffeine than soda, compounding calcium loss. Many also have added acids for flavor and preservation, further increasing the leaching effect on bones. And because they're often consumed in place of milk, water, or other nutrient-rich drinks, they indirectly lower your intake of bone-building nutrients. If you want to protect your bones, replacing soft drinks with bone-friendly beverages is one of the simplest yet most powerful changes you can make. Sparkling water with lemon or lime, unsweetened iced teas, or fortified milk alternatives can all give you flavor without the bone-draining effects. Even a gradual reduction, swapping out one soda a day for water, can significantly reduce your risk over time. With sugary sodas and energy drinks taking the top spot on our worst list, the picture is clear. Your daily drink choices can be just as critical for bone health as your meals. Pairing the 4 best foods: Greek yogurt, sardines, kale, and fortified milk alternatives with the avoidance of these 4 worst offenders gives your bones the best possible defense against thinning, fractures, and the silent creep of osteoporosis. So here's the bottom line. Your bones aren't fixed structures. They're living tissue, constantly breaking down and rebuilding. Every meal you eat either strengthens them or quietly weakens them. By adding the 4 best foods, Greek yogurt, sardines, kale, and fortified milk alternatives, you're giving your skeleton the calcium, vitamins, and protein it needs to stay dense, flexible, and fracture resistant. At the same time, cutting back on the 4 worst offenders: sugary breakfast cereals, processed meats, excess alcohol, and especially sugary soft drinks and energy drinks can stop the daily calcium drain and slow down the damage. Bone loss is silent, but the consequences aren't. Start now, and you can protect, even rebuild, bone at any age. Don't wait for a fracture to force you into action. If this video helped you, hit the like, subscribe for the next one on hidden habits that double fracture risk, and comment below. Which of these worst foods will be the hardest for you to give up? If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.